My name is Nathan. Until that night, I thought I had the patience of a saint. I had been married to Olivia for 4 years. We weren't perfect, but I always believed we had a foundation of respect strong enough to weather any storm. She was fiery, quick-witted, and loved to push buttons. Most of the time I loved her for it. Lately, though, the buttons had started feeling less like playful jabs and more like slow, deliberate punches. It began small. Eye rolls when I forgot to take out the trash, teasing about my receding hairline in front of her friends, laughing the loudest when I tripped over the dog and nearly face-planted with a tray of drinks. I let it slide. Marriage is about not sweating the small stuff, right? But the small stuff started piling up until it wasn't small anymore. That night we were at a dinner party in Raleigh, 8 of us around a charcuterie board, wine flowing, everyone telling stories. Someone asked Olivia about her worst first date ever. Without hesitation, she grinned and said, "Oh, definitely the guy who wouldn't stop talking about himself." And Nathan's tied for last place. Polite laughter. I forced a smile, but something in my chest tightened. Then the conversation drifted to relationships and intimacy. Olivia, 3 glasses in, leaned back with that mischievous smirk I used to find irresistible and announced to the table, "Well, at least my ex was bigger." She delivered it like the punchline of the century. The table froze for half a second. Then came the awkward, scattered chuckles people give when they're not sure if they just witnessed comedy or a car crash. My ears rang. My face burned. I sat there with a polite half-smile glued on while inside something cracked clean in two. I didn't say a word. Didn't stand up. Didn't storm out. I just finished my wine, helped clear plates, and drove us home in silence. Olivia tried to laugh it off in the car. "You're being too sensitive?" "Babe, it was just a joke." But I stared straight ahead and said nothing. I wasn't angry yet. I was calculating. That night I lay awake beside her while she slept, replaying the moment on a loop. The smug little tilt of her mouth, the way she scanned the table for approval after she said it. The next morning I kissed her forehead, made her coffee, sent a sweet midday text like everything was fine. If she noticed the shift in me, she didn't mention it. Because I wanted her to believe I'd swallowed it. I wanted her comfortable. The following weekend we hosted a small get-together at our house in Asheville. I grilled perfect steaks, curated the playlist, kept the wine flowing. Olivia was glowing, playing the charming hostess. At one point someone asked what kept our marriage strong after 4 years. Olivia opened her mouth, probably to fire off another zinger. But I beat her to it, voice calm and conversational. You know what I thought kept it strong? Mutual respect. I paused, letting the words settle. Turns out I might have been wrong about that. The room went still. Olivia blinked, smile faltering. "Nathan." I looked straight at her and continued softly, evenly, like we were the only 2 people there. "Last week you told our friends your ex was bigger. I've thought about that a lot. And you're right, Liv. He was bigger. Bigger at lying. Bigger at cheating. Bigger at treating you like an option instead of a priority. And somehow you still thought it was okay to stand in someone else's dining room and reduce your husband to a punchline about his dick." Her face drained of color. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. You looked around that table for laughs like my humiliation was a party trick. I smiled and laughed along that night, but I haven't been able to look at you the same since. Do you know why? Her lips parted, but nothing came out. Because the person I trusted most decided my worth as a man was disposable if it got her a cheap laugh. You could have heard a pin drop on the hardwood. I kept going, still calm. I've decided I'm done pretending disrespect is just your sense of humor. If you want an audience for that kind of material, go find him. Because I would rather be alone than stay with someone who chips away at me one joke at a time. Olivia's eyes filled. She reached for my hand. I let her fingers rest on mine without gripping back. "Nathan, I'm sorry," she whispered, voice cracking. "I was trying to be funny. I didn't think." "That's the problem," I said quietly. "You didn't think. And if this marriage is going to survive, that change is starting right now." She nodded fast, tears slipping down her cheeks, the usual spark in her completely extinguished. I finally leaned back in my chair, broke eye contact, and turned to our stunned guests with a small, polite smile. "Sorry about that, everybody. Who wants dessert?" The rest of the night was awkward as hell. People left earlier than planned. But Olivia didn't make another joke at my expense. Not that night. Not the next week. Not for months after. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something I'd quietly lost along the way. My self-respect, fully intact.